Look at that view. So I'm at the park today, as you saw that lovely view, and I was really pondering the concepts of self-love and self-value and why that's such an important thing to do for yourself, and why, especially in today's time, I feel like it's very overlooked, because it's definitely something that I've struggled with, and I'm just now learning the importance of it and why we should do it. um, it's very important because if you don't love yourself or value yourself, you'll find yourself trying to receive that from things outside of yourself. um, for example, you might define yourself based on your job, your relationship, your financial status, anything like that, any external value that you can add to yourself that isn't you innately loving yourself. Um, and you'll see that once these things kind of get stripped from you, you might find like you're missing something, like you might not be worthy anymore or worth anything. And that's really big because what you're feeling is the emptiness that you have been supposed to fill, not any external thing. That void you're feeling is the love and the value you should have been giving yourself this entire time. And this can be discovered in a multitude of ways. For example, if you get anxious a lot, or if you have anxiety, a lot of that might be coming from you not loving yourself. You might be feeling this because you've attached your value to something outside of yourself. And you have to realize that, because once that thing gets stripped from you, you're going to feel like you're missing something. Now it's also important to know how, like how can we love ourselves and value ourselves in this world. I heard a really good point the other day, kind of saying, if you were in a relationship with someone that was exactly you, like you exactly, and you were with them, you would feel fulfilled. You would feel like everything is perfect. Everything, like, oh, they know exactly what I like. They know what I like to hear. They know what I like to do. They know how I like to be loved. Everyone should feel that way about themselves without having to have a relationship with another entity that is yourself, because that's you that you're looking for. That perfect relationship that you feel like you're looking for is you. And people need to realize that only you can love yourself in all the ways that you want. If you're feeling empty and you're feeling like you need to go seek this or that, I'm not saying it's bad to be in a relationship. In many ways, it's great to be in a relationship. But you have to realize that there are parts of yourself that no one can fulfill other than you and the Lord. If you're feeling particularly empty or anxious about something, it's not a bad idea to ask yourself, is this just a lack of self-love and value that I'm giving myself? That I'm not giving myself? Because that could very well be the case. And once you do these things, like, give yourself the love that you've always needed, you start to heal. Like, you start to realize that there's a lot of things that you might not need in this life. And it really kind of makes, your next decision in life alone, like, kind of clear in certain ways. Of course, if you haven't struggled with this at all, then it might sound crazy. But if you have, then this might be exactly what you need to hear. But yeah, I just know that this is a big problem in today's world, because everyone tends to attach themselves to an external thing. And there are certain external things that's good to attach yourself to an extent. Because, let's see what I wrote down here. I wrote down a few things earlier. One point I heard the other day was crazy. It blew my mind. If you weren't enough for yourself, then you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be where you're at right now. You wouldn't be alive, living and breathing. If you weren't alive, living and breathing, then you wouldn't be, like, you wouldn't be enough for yourself, So just the fact that you're here should be living physical proof that I am enough. And you were a whole thing before you got into anything, and you're going to be a whole thing after that. But yeah, those are some things that I needed to hear for sure. And I'm sure many other people need to hear that too. Because it's very important. It's very easy to get lost in life when you don't love yourself properly, or give yourself your own validation and your own value in your own ways. Because like I said, there's going to be certain parts of yourself that can't be filled from anyone else but yourself and the Lord. Simple as that. But yeah, that's kind of the message I wanted to come on here and share today. I hope, it reaches someone who needs to hear it, such as myself. But yeah, if you watched this far, thank you. I hope that what I said is applicable, and just know that you're valued and loved. Yeah, thank you for watching.